Starting. All right. Oh my goodness, I'm late. Time's 3:22. Shoot. Okay. If anybody's watching this, nobody's watching. I'm just gonna go at it. And banks spend billions of dollars per year in advertising with the goal of convincing. Hello, everyone. Thank you for watching Jun the Groomer. Ask Jun the Groomer. Hold on 1 second. Let me. The number one concern of all Americans is still money. I've been having issues like for the past few minutes. I don't know what it is. Just nothing is working out. And financial independence outside. There we go. Okay, so pause that. Okay, so sorry for being late, everyone. Things just I've been busy. Anyways, so I wanted to start off this week by answering a question that I get a lot. I actually got a couple more. I think it was comments on my YouTube channel. It was emails coming in, and then also a Facebook message. So I've been getting a lot of questions, but not just recently, but past few years. It seems like consistently, and some people even ask for other people. Some people ask me like, oh, a friend of mine wants to know. This is a couple years ago, but I got a question saying like, a friend of mine wants to become a dog groomer. How does one go about becoming one? I'm just trying to help my friend out. And I explained how to become a dog groomer and everything, and then later on they confess it's actually me, not a friend. I'm like, what? Why would you be embarrassed? Anyways, or I don't know why she was saying that she wanted to ask for a friend, but so I wanted to go into how to become a dog groomer. And I remember when my wife and I first talked about getting into the dog grooming business. We actually wanted to. The ideal actually was for Kimmy, for my wife, to become a dog groomer first, and then I would become a dog groomer. But then she, got pregnant and things. It just, things just didn't work out. And a good thing, because Kimmy actually told me recently she really doesn't like grooming either. But she loves dogs, of course, but she doesn't like dog grooming. And honestly, the grooming part, the work part, I'm not a big fan of either. I don't like hard work. But in order to get to the part where, now we're doing the haircut and we're, being artistic, in order to get to that part, a lot of work is involved. So, all right. So first things first, I wanted to just see if I Googled how to become a dog groomer. I just wanted to see what comes up. And also, while I'm waiting for that to load up, because my computer is running kind of slow, just wanted to share, I actually broke down and got some flea medication for my dogs. One's for, large dogs, one's for small dogs. And just because I got so tired of just seeing them getting bit up. And the thing is, every time we go on a walk, I would dust them off with the diatomaceous earth, the white powder, the insect shield. And the insect shield bandana seems to help. There's no fleas around their head or anything. But it just seems like every single day there's more fleas on there. And I understand how diatomaceous earth is supposed to work, the white powder. It's supposed to be safe to eat, it's completely safe. It's just, what it does is it acts like little tiny razors on the fleas. And so anything that has an exoskeleton, like a flea, a cockroach, any kind of bug, insect, it's supposed to act like sharp little razors and cut them all up and kind of dry them out so they can't survive. But I don't know. I think I got some like die-hard fleas out there in my backyard, like Bruce Willis, type. If you've seen Die Hard, barefoot, glass all over. They don't care. They're all over my dogs. And maybe it's because we have so many fleas here in Georgia. Maybe that's why. I don't know, but it just seems like, I just don't like to see them itching and uncomfortable, because that's why people pay me, they pay me well actually, to take care of their dogs, because we want them to be comfortable, right? So yeah, I mean, I get, that there's chemicals and everything, and I read the ingredients, and it's saying, there's a Fipro, it's Fipronil that's they're using, and so we'll see. And they're comfortable now. At least every time I go out there and check them, there's like maybe 1 or 2 fleas, and that's easy to take care of. And I think it is just because there's so many fleas here in Georgia, because there's so much wildlife everywhere. I think that even though the flea medication is working, there's still a couple fleas that's going to try and jump on, and then they'll probably jump off. But with the digestive earth powder, I think because it is such a natural approach, maybe earth powder just isn't effective enough here in Georgia. I don't know. It's a personal thing, but I've run and I got Plus, and it's comparable to Frontline. I spent like $100 on this, so we'll see if it works. So let's see here. How to become a dog groomer. Learn to become. There's an ABC. Okay, that's the first thing that comes up. Animalbehaviorcollege.com. And I've met some groomers that came out of that took that course, the ABC, the online Animal Behavior College course to become groomers. I personally wouldn't. If I'm talking to you and I'm a good friend of yours and you're like, hey, I'm thinking about becoming a professional dog groomer, and there's this online college, and I could just, if you were asking me personally, and I am who I am, I'm Jun the Groomer, and you're asking me for my personal opinion, I'd say no, I wouldn't do it. I think it's a waste of time. I think it's not a waste of time. I just feel like your time and your money can be spent in so many more beneficial ways that would help you become a dog groomer quicker than Animal Behavior College. Not knocking them. I mean, I'm sure it's great information. I'm sure the information that, their trainer, becoming a dog trainer program is great and everything. It's just like grooming is such a feel job. You have to literally feel it. And if you look at a groomer's hands, I don't know if you can even see it, but like there's like it's healing up now, but it's kind of scabbed over. It's kind of hard, but calloused. I mean, I got so many calluses and just little cuts and bumps on my hands. Grooming is a feel. You got to get in there and feel it with your hands, and just how do you can't explain a feeling. Let's just say an alien came down from space, had no digestive system like we do. It doesn't have a butthole, doesn't have a, anything to urinate with, not to get crude, but I'm just saying, what if they just had no digestive system like ours? And we're trying to explain to this alien how it feels when you're stuck in traffic and you got to go number 2 and you got to go so bad, and you're holding it, and you finally get to, break off the highway, get out of traffic, and you pull into a gas station and you get to go in, and the bathroom's clean, and the bathroom's clean, and you get to go number 2. How great does that feel? You can't explain it to an alien that doesn't have, that can't feel it. You just got to feel it yourself. And I feel like that's the same thing with dog grooming. Like, you can't explain how it feels to grip the brittle, dull hairs versus a live, smooth hair. You just got to feel it, like with your own fingers. And with hundreds of dogs, I say, after you've gotten your hands wet, and groomed 100 dogs, that's when you're starting to get a feeling. You're going to start to recognize patterns. You're going to start to recognize, the differences in how things feel, differences in dogs' temperament, personalities, what works and what doesn't with certain temperaments, and in certain situations. This is all done by experience, hours on the mat. I love watching mixed martial arts. I'm a huge fan of martial arts. I've always been. So I was watching Dan Hardy break down what happened in Conor McGregor and Nate Diaz's fight. If you're not a fan of mixed martial arts, basically Conor McGregor is one of the biggest names in mixed martial arts right now in sports. Period. And then Nate Diaz is just every man's man, hardworking, just unpolished kind of guy. Takes a fight to fight Conor McGregor on 10 days notice, has really no time to prepare, and beats him out of nowhere. And he's losing the whole time, takes the fight on short notice, he's getting beat up and battered, comes back and he chokes out Conor McGregor and he wins, like a Rocky story, And so now they're about to fight again. But when Dan Hardy was explaining what was going on, the little intricacies, and how Nate Diaz knew to move this way because Conor was moving this way, and he knew what Conor's options were, and he knew how to stop them before it even happened. How does one? And he said the only way to teach that is hours on the mat, and that's how he got his black belt in jiu-jitsu, and that's why he's so dangerous on the ground, Nate Diaz. And you just can't replace that any way. There's no way to replace that because you have to put in the hours on the mat, just like Nate Diaz did. So same thing with dog grooming. The lady who actually taught me how to groom dogs, her name is Barbara Johnston, and I'll explain how I got to know Barbara, because this may be an idea if you're trying to become a dog groomer. My personal recommendation would be to find a good mentor that will take you as an apprentice and teach you. Barbara was that for me, but she also taught horseback riding. Horses is really her passion. So she was telling me that the only way to become a good horseback rider is hours in the saddle. It's just hours in the saddle. And she was saying that, and she was explaining that and kind of explaining to give me an example, I guess, of how dog grooming, how the only way I'm going to get better is just to keep doing it, hours on the mat, hours in the saddle. If you're learning to be a pilot, it's hours in that flight simulator. But anyways, so how does one get the hours on the mat? Okay, let's just say I want to become a dog groomer. And I want to get the hours on the mat, I want to get the hours on the saddle. And nobody's hiring. Let's say nobody wants anybody that doesn't have any experience. Here's what I did. Called around and I actually met with the owners of a place called Animal House down in Buckhead, and I offered them, a week for free. Can I work for free for a week as your bather? And after that week, you hire me on if you like me. And they said, okay, because who would refuse free labor, right? And I was good. I was sweating. And so that's how I got in. And then after I started being their bather, they would have me shave some of their shave downs. So I would get like a 7 or a 10 and just shave dogs down. So that's how I started to get a feel for the clippers and how the clippers worked. And they actually used a clipper vac system, Romani MDC clipper vac. And basically it's like a Flowbee. So it's a vacuum that attaches to the clippers. And so that's what I learned on. And so when I left Animal House, because I got a feeling that I was never going to get promoted up because I was doing such a great job as a bather. And there's just a lot of differences in opinion. So after I left Animal House, I went and interviewed at this place, and she asked me if I could do a shave down on a Cocker Spaniel. I was like, yeah, of course. I shaved down plenty of Cocker Spaniels. And so I would go to shave it down, and it's totally different. I'm used to using a clipper vac, and here I have no clipper vac system, and I'm just going with the clippers. It was a completely different feel. And I don't care now. I can use a clipper vac or no clipper vac. I kind of prefer no clipper vac anyways, but the first time I wasn't ready for that. I wasn't expecting that, and I should have been. It makes sense, but I just didn't know that the feel would be so different. And here I am struggling, shaving down this Cocker Spaniel. So of course I didn't get hired. But in my mind, I thought I was a better groomer than I actually was because I had this clipper vac system helping me. It's kind of like training wheels, you know? So once the training wheels came off, I was like wobbly, you know? I was like, oh my God, you know? So that's kind of what happened. And then Barbara, I found an ad. A lady was looking for a bather to help. And so I called, we had a conversation. I went and I tried out for like a day or two. She loved it. I loved it. So, and this was at Sugar Hill Animal Hospital. And so Barbara actually paid me out of her own pocket, $8 an hour, no tax taken out, you know, and so like a complete independent contractor, you know, 1099. So she was just paying me as like a day laborer pretty much out of her own pocket. And, you know, it was my job to help her do as many dogs as possible by washing, drying, you know, fluffing, and preparing them for the haircut and things like that. So I had some really great experiences there. And so the way she taught me, I love that she had a plan. And this is what I would probably look for if I'm looking for someone to mentor me. Someone who has like an actual plan of how they're going to get you from being their bather or assistant to becoming your own standalone groomer, you know, where you can actually start making money grooming your own dogs. And she laid out a plan. She was saying every week we'll focus on a breed, like a Shih Tzu, and then like the Shih Tzu head, you know, like the different heads. And then, you know, maybe like do a few weeks of that because there's a lot of Shih Tzus. And then we'll like focus on a different breed. You know, every time a breed comes in, you know, she'll show me like how to do a Schnauzer pattern, how to do a Scotty, how to do a Westie, you know, how to do all these, you know, poodles, the poodle top knot and all that. So she was like, so after a few weeks, you know, after like a few months, you know, you'll start to get a feel for the different breeds, and then you can keep practicing, and, you know, maybe within a year you can become a groomer. And I love that. And I was like, oh my God. And she was saying maybe even sooner, maybe longer. You know, everybody learns at their own pace. And so that's the thing about grooming. I don't know if there is any school. There was a school here in Georgia called the International, what was it? International Dog Grooming School or something like that. But it doesn't even come up in the search anymore. But yeah, that school really wasn't that great. You know, wasn't reputable. WikiHow, there's a how to become a dog groomer, 12 steps with pictures. So work as a grooming assistant. Okay, yeah. You know, volunteer at animal shelter. Okay, perfect. I did that too. So when I was working with Barbara and learning how to groom dogs to get extra help on my days off, I think I had Tuesdays and another day off. But Tuesdays I would go to a small dog rescue, which is now part of Fur Kids. So Fur Kids is a rescue organization here in Georgia that I guess they merged with Small Dog Rescue. So now it's Small Dog Rescue Fur Kids. But I would go there every Tuesday and just groom as many dogs. Usually it was like 2 dogs, 1 or 2 dogs every time I went because I was so slow. But I wasn't there to see how many dogs I could groom. I was there to get practice, hours in the saddle. So, and also treat the dogs with respect. So that's what I did. I'm just trying to see here if there's any grooming school. See, Animal Behavior College, that, you know, dog groomer school. So and the thing is, I don't think that. So PetSmart, I think PetSmart and Petco actually, they have like a schooling program, a training program where they'll teach you how to. Let me see here. I just want to see if anyone's actually chatting with me. I'm just rambling on. But PetSmart and Petco actually have a training program where you can become a dog groomer. 1 second. What's going on here? Okay. There we go. So sorry about that, guys. So PetSmart and Petco have a training program, and I've worked with some groomers that worked at PetSmart and Petco before, both companies actually. And so basically the gist is you come in as a new employee, you're a bather, and then if you start to, they show potential, I guess, and you want to become a dog groomer, then they start to, have you go into this training program. And then you go to another store, watch another manager, you kind of shadow them, and then you come back and you're pretty much a baby groomer. And then they have you groom 100 dogs. And then after 100 dogs, I guess you're free to go if you want. You don't owe them anything. And I don't know, some people had great experiences, some people had terrible experiences. I guess it is what you make of it. But also, there is a luck factor, like who you end up under. So, yeah, I mean, and I guess the same thing could go with apprenticing under somebody too. And when you apprentice under a groomer, you might get somebody that you don't really like. There was a lady, Susan, that joined us last time on our show, and she was explaining that she just got out of a apprenticeship, and she saw a lot of things that she didn't like. And I told her that's pretty much what happened to me as well when I started. So, I don't know. So that's one of my goals actually is I wanted to compete and go out and grooming competitions and do all this stuff so I can get more credibility so that I could actually start my own school, so I can teach. Actually teach people how to groom, respecting nature, respecting science, respecting the dog, and honoring, honoring the natural system that nature put in place, and honoring the dog and their emotional well-being as well while we're grooming them, and teach this sort of way that I've developed of grooming that my clients absolutely love. I mean, they go nuts. Some of the text messages I get, after I get done grooming the dogs, it's just amazing. So, I want to teach this, because I don't want to just keep it to myself, because I can only groom so many dogs, and everyone's asking me to refer them to another groomer, especially when I move. So I really want to start my own school. That's why I wanted to compete. But when I went to the Super Zoo a couple weeks ago and I was watching them do the competitions, I just realized it's just not for me. I'm not that competitive nature, where and the like they're announcing like groomers, you have 10 minutes in the tub. You can't camp out there. You only have 10 minutes. You can't spend more than 10 minutes in the tub. And I'm thinking in my head, 10 minutes, that's how long I let the shampoo sit, And then my 3 rules, don't wash the dog unless I'm gonna comb them out. And don't use shampoo unless I'm gonna use conditioner, and the shampoo sits for 10 minutes, conditioner sits for 10 minutes. That's 20 minutes at least. And then you got a rinsing time in between. So I just realized competition and that whole environment is really just not for me. And it was really cool is that I'm in a position now where I'm a member of the media. So now I get to actually go and I don't have to compete. I can elevate the industry by videotaping and sharing with the world how amazing these groomers are, that are competing, how incredible they are, like we're artists. This is art. Right in front of us. And the amazing thing is this artwork is moving around and, wagging its tail. So, yeah, I mean, I really feel lucky that I'm in a position now where I can actually share that and elevate the industry that way. I don't actually have to be a part of the competition. I can just show the world. So I really feel cool about that. But yeah, I guess what's the next step? I guess just stay busy with my clients, keep saving up, and maybe within a few years, I'll have like enough credit, enough money built up where I can like, get a small building or something, rent it out and get a few students. I don't know, but we'll see. But for now, I say if you're trying to become a dog groomer, call around. Well, Google. I would Google first of all. Make sure they don't have a bad reputation. And make sure they don't have like some, nightmare reviews. And even if they do, maybe it's worth a shot to go see it for yourself because you can't always trust someone else's perspective. But look around, do your research, find a good shop, find a good reputable shop, and then maybe convince them that you're the gem, that you're willing to. And I wouldn't suggest working a week for free like I did because I don't even know the legal consequences of that. I don't even know if that was legal tax wise. I don't know. I just did it. But I wouldn't recommend you do it. Just, maybe explain that, like you really, this is a passion of yours that you would like to do, that you would like to get into dog grooming. And maybe, just ask them, it's a bonus for them, like I'll come in every single day, no matter what, on time. I'll do more than what's expected of me. I really will become an asset to this company if you just take me on. Just convince them that you're going to be a good employee. And then I say, work as a bather, get that experience, get that hands-on experience, feeling the dog's skin, all different kinds of skin, and feel the texture of the skin before and after the bath. How does it feel? How does it feel after you force dry the dog? The skin feels a little different. The coat feels a little different, and you don't even know to look for these things at first. And that's why I feel like after about 100 dogs, you start to notice, oh yeah, like this is different. This is different, So questions that we don't even know to ask start to come up as we start to work and get into it. So I say hands-on is the best. Find a mentor, find somebody that you can apprentice under, or just work somewhere as a bather. And if none of that is possible financially, because let's just say that your financial obligations, you just can't take a step down and get paid a bather's wage, because bathers, I really feel like are underpaid, really underpaid for what they do. But and so are groomers, really, dog groomers. But what can you do? That's just the way the market views it. So yeah, I would say if you can't do all of that, you have to stick with your job. Then find a rescue. And here's the thing about rescue shelters. It's so hard to get through to anybody there because it's all volunteers working. So yeah, it's really tough to get anybody to actually answer the phone, return any messages or anything, because it's just mostly volunteers. And so I got really frustrated at first when I was trying to get in touch with somebody, so, any rescue shelter, just so I could start grooming some dogs, because I was so desperate to groom some dogs. It was really tough to get any rescue shelter to reply to me. So I would say don't get discouraged if nobody replies. Maybe drive to the rescue shelters if they have an address online, like actually go there to the facility, and try to speak with someone. And usually nobody's going to turn down free help, especially in the grooming area. If you're offering to groom them, the dogs yourself for free, then, usually they'll say yes. And if you don't have grooming equipment, a lot of these rescue shelters have grooming tools. They have like a grooming area. So all they need is somebody that's willing to come in and spend some time grooming these dogs for them. So, even if you don't have any tools, maybe that's a way. Just contact the rescue organization. And if anybody's watching and putting comments on, I'm sorry, I don't see anything. So maybe really nobody's watching. So maybe I really have hit like the bottom of my interest level, tanked out. But if anybody is watching and typing in comments and questions, I'm really sorry I can't see it. I'm looking, I'm trying, that's what I've been trying to do, but yeah. Oh, okay, perfect. I see one. So Angela Moore says, I've watched and enjoyed many of your videos. I've learned a lot. Thank you. I do have a grooming question. My Shih Tzu has a cowlick that runs down the middle of her head. Okay, how would I blend this? Oh, perfect. Okay, so this is kind of like a question that I had before. So if your Shih Tzu has a cowlick that runs down the middle of her head, use spray it with water or coat conditioner, and then comb it. Comb it in direction that you want it to lay. If you wanted to pay it apart like this, or if you wanted to, tie it in top knot, or if you wanted to lay it back, whatever direction that you want it, Angela, comb it that way. And then if you wanted to, and then if it still sticks up, whatever, then kind of cut it with blending shears. But I would say keep training that hair, that cowlick. Keep training it to lay the way that you want it to lay. And the best way to do that is just wet it and comb it, and maybe even use a blow dryer, and comb it in that direction like that while you're blow drying. And maybe if your dog's a little squirmy, then you can hold the head, and somebody else can hold the blow dryer, and you can hold the head and hold the head still, and then comb it as they're blow drying it. But that's the best way. Just like if I had my hair was like going a different way like this, whatever, or I wanted to part it in the middle and I wanted to create a part, I would just have to start training it, get it wet, and use like mousse and just start parting it. And if I did that every day, and when I wash my hair, as I dry my hair, within a few days, I will have a part in the middle, So just like our hair, how we can train it, that's how I would recommend getting rid of that cowlick. But thank you, Angela Moore. I think you're the only one that actually is watching, and that only question. Okay, perfect. So let me see here. Oh, plaque off. I talked about plaque off before in another video. Let me see. Here we go. Plaque off. But I've been giving the treat. Oh, we got a cat in here now. So my brother bought my mom a cat so that she can get rid of the mice and rodents that are in the garage and stuff. So we got a cat now, and parakeets and dogs. It's like Noah's Ark in here. But I've been giving it to the cat, and the cat actually is very picky. He won't take a lot of treats from any, I try to give him some dried lamb lung treats that the dogs are eating. He doesn't even want that. So he's very picky, but he will eat the plaque off treats. So, that's pretty cool. So he'll eat it right out of our hand. But the treats, and I've been taking the powder, and for real, it tastes like sea kelp. And I know because we use sea kelp in Korean dishes, a lot of Korean soups as the base. So let me see here. But yeah, see, it's like this dark, it's like this dark powder. See that? And this spoon is so tiny. So this spoon is like just a small little, like a little tiny medicine spoon, so maybe like the size of my nose, even smaller than my eye, but yeah. So I've been taking it, like just one of these spoonfuls a day. And I don't really see a difference in my own teeth, but I remember seeing the pictures, and after 4 weeks, there wasn't a big difference. After 4 months, there's a huge difference. So I've been taking it, and it tastes salty, just like sea kelp. It's really cool. It's really interesting. So sea kelp, and some, obviously some other ingredients, and probably a certain way that they formulate the sea kelp. But it's been really cool. And my dogs, there's a bigger bag of this for the dogs, and I've been giving it to my dogs, and it's for the big ones, 4 a day, 4 little pieces a day, and 2 for little weenie. And I don't know, I guess I'll start taking more pictures of their teeth, but it's interesting. Okay, Angela Moore. I give her a puppy type of cut, so the hair is probably less than an inch, so sticks straight up. Okay. Let's see. And if it's a cowlick, sticking straight up, but still, There is like a tool called a stripping knife. It's kind of like a Furminator. Even a Furminator. Use a Furminator if you have a Furminator or a Furminator type of tool, or any kind of brush, even a slicker brush. But just get her short hair wet, and you know, just keep petting it back or forward if you want it forward. Just keep petting it in the direction that you want it to lay. Yeah, so the hair is probably less than an inch. Okay. And for a Shih Tzu especially, I would never I don't really like to go less than a quarter inch on a Shih Tzu, just because they're a long coated dog. They need that long coat to help protect their skin, help keep the oils moving. So lots of good reasons why it's good not to do too short of a haircut on a Shih Tzu or a long hair type dog. So perfect. I feel like I've been rambling on for a while. If there's no other questions, then next week I will try to. I'm just trying to see if I can get this lighting a little bit better in here. Oh, this probably really should have been done before all this, but we do our best, right? With what we got. Okay. But yeah, so the question, how do I become a dog groomer? Really right now, I don't really see any clear-cut way, like, oh, go to Brown University and major in this, ask for professor this, right now, there's the Paragon School of Dog Grooming by Melissa Verplank. She wrote the Notes from the Grooming Table and Theory of Five. Great information there, lots of great groomers there as on board as teachers. So that would be one, but if that's really not a good option, then in your hometown, I would look for a rescue shelter, or maybe just a lady running a rescue out of her home that's just desperately needing help. Somehow get your hands on as many dogs as you possibly can, to get your experience, to get the feel for how the clippers feel, how the hair cuts, even with the scissors. When I'm scissoring around the dog's head, I've cut the nose, I've cut the tongue, I've cut the ear, I've cut the dog so many different places before, by accident, of course. So much blood, and I mean, oh man, every time it happens, I think about quitting, because it's just terrible. So, you got to go through it. You got to get that out of the way, and then, so yeah, I would say do rescue shelter dogs. Try to work as a bather somewhere, if that's financially viable for you, or see if somebody will apprentice you on the weekends. Even if you have a job during the week, maybe on the weekends you can follow like a mobile groomer or somebody that's willing to show you how to groom if you help them. So things like that. I guess you have to get creative, but I really would not suggest an online school, because if the online schools would actually teach you about the skin and the anatomy of the dog's paw and what was in there, and they actually taught you like good information, then I would say, of course, go to those online schools. But because they don't teach you any of that, they teach you about like the different blade sizes and how to shave the dog, and they don't teach you the science. They don't teach you like why you're shaving and why these dogs need to be shaved this way. They don't teach you about the breed history, and all of that stuff that you can actually get off the AKC website. And another good resource would be the IACC, the International Society of Canine Cosmetologists. Their website is petstylist.com. I would go to petstylist.com and order their study material, because it's such great information. And their study material that you order from them, you'll pay couple $100s, but still, it's what the information is actually worth it. It actually shows you what the dog's pores consists of. What the hair follicles, what it's made of, how it looks, the structure of the hair, the life stages, everything. It goes into all of that. So, and it even explains why we shouldn't be shaving dogs. It goes into shampoos, ingredients, surfactants, all these things. So I would suggest probably ordering the study material from the IACC and going about it that way, because yeah, that would probably be the best way. So the answer to the question, how do I become a professional dog groomer? I would say join join the International Society of Canine Cosmetologists. Even if you don't become a member, order the study material and get the information, and then go out to rescue shelters or volunteer at a grooming shop, on the weekends, or try to become a bather there part-time or something, but actually get hands-on experience, hours on the mat. And those hours on the mat, those hours that you accumulate, getting your hands in there and actually feeling how it feels for the hair to actually come out of the skin, what that feels like, and things like that, feeling which hairs to pull, which hairs not to pull, and all of that will come in play later and make you an amazing groomer. And when people ask you, like, how did you get my dog to look so amazing? You can't really even pinpoint it one thing. It's just an accumulation of all these things that you've learned over the years that you don't even know that you know anymore, So just like there's like so many questions that we don't even know to ask until we start running into those issues with these certain dogs and their skin, and there presents a certain problem, or it doesn't respond, their skin doesn't respond to a certain treatment the same way as another dog did. And then you have to start kind of asking questions. Why does that hair smell like that then? And why does this skin, why is it crusty like that? Why is it just in circles in those areas? And these kind of questions lead us to start to research and learn more, and then helps us do our job even better. And then we become these miraculous dog healing beauticians, something much more than just dog groomers, people that just, wash dirty dogs. We're much more than that. Lorraine Villegas. Hello, I have a Malt. Okay, so that's probably a Havanese and Maltese mix. She mats a lot. How do you control the mats? The best way to control the mats, and the thing is, so to ask the question, why is this hair matting? The reason why it's matting is because a lot of those hairs are secondary fine undercoat hairs that grow just as long as the primary hairs on these long-haired dogs like Maltese and Havanese. So their secondary coat, which would be the undercoat for a Husky, it actually grows along with the outer coat and just as long and almost just as fully formed as the guard hair. So with these long-haired dogs, it's really hard to tell which is a secondary hair, which is a primary hair. The best way to tell is because these secondary hairs, because they have less substance, they have a less of the shorter life cycle, they seem to get dull and frayed sooner. And so the dull frayed hairs, when they're dull and frayed and they have this kind of brittle texture to it, under a microscope it looks like pine cones opened up, like Velcro. So that's what happens, Lorraine, when your Havamalt starts to mat. It's these dead hairs that are just clumping together and attracting each other, just like Velcro would, just like dust and dander would, just to kind of clump together, And here's the thing, you can brush it, put dematting solution, spray it on there, and kind of brush it all out. It's gonna mat right back up. So the best way to deal with it is to get a metal comb. It's called a Greyhound comb. Use the coarse side, the wider side, to kind of break everything up, break up those mats, and you just kind of tease it. You're not trying to go and yank through. You just got to kind of work it. Just kind of keep picking at it. And then if it's really matted up into a solid ball, then sometimes, you can get like scissors and just kind of cut through the mat, just kind of break them up, and then try to brush and comb them out. But and I have a video actually, how to groom a matted dog or something like that. Big matted Shih Tzu, just overgrown, matted, nasty, smelly coat. And I show how to actually untangle all of those big mats, how to comb it all out, and then pull out, using a stripping knife or even just your fingers and just pinch and pull. Just pull out all those little dead fine hairs. And by pulling out those hairs, the follicle will now start to produce new hairs that will be sealed and smooth, and they won't mat up. You know, they won't tangle up as easy because those the dead fuzzy, that brittle hair, you've pulled it out. So now that it's out, it won't mat up anymore. So Hiram Gonzalez, I have a Yorkie with bad smell. Only a week after grooming. Okay, what can I do to control this? Hiram, I'm really glad you asked that question. So I'd say it's not even a week. I'd say it's about 3 days. About 3 to 4 days after you wash your Yorkie, it's gonna smell even worse than before you wash them. It smells so bad, that bacterial, yeasty smell. The reason why is because when you're washing your Yorkie, Hiram, you're probably not using conditioner, or you're not letting the conditioner sit for 10 minutes, at least 5 minutes, up to 10 minutes. So if you're gonna use shampoo, you have to use conditioner. It's a must, and let it sit for at least 5 to 10 minutes. The reason why is because the way shampoo works, it's a detergent. It's gonna strip those hair fibers of the grease and the oils and the dirt, and opens up the skin pores. You know, it opens up the hair fibers, attaches itself to the old grease and the dirt and everything. And shampoo, you have to leave it for at least 5-10 minutes. And so that the shampoo has time to do this. So this chemical reaction, this bond occurs, and then when you rinse the shampoo off, that's when the cleaning happens. So the dog smells clean now because you rinsed off all that old bacteria and all that old stuff. But then without using conditioner, the hair is left wide open. It's still open like that because that's what the shampoo did. And when it's left open like that, bacteria is very opportunistic. And so is yeast, fungus. It's going to move right in, and it takes about 3 days for it to start to move in and start to do its thing and start causing that odor. 3 to 4 days after the bath, your dog will smell very bad, and that can be avoided by letting the conditioner soak for at least 5 to 10 minutes after you shampoo, and that way the conditioner will seal everything back up and form a protective layer of oil that repels off the bacteria and the dust and debris and all that, and also restores oils back in the skin. So the skin doesn't have such a like a shocked reaction to the bath because now there's oil back in the skin as well. So the skin's not going to overproduce more oils because those oils, they cause an odors as well. So the skin's not going to be overproducing oils to try to make up for what was stripped out of the skin because, or the pores, because the pores now have oil back in them. It's not going to do that. So conditioner, Hiram Gonzalez, conditioner. That's probably why your Yorkie is smelling only a week after grooming. Lorraine Vegas, thank you so much for answering back. Oh, thank you so much for joining the show. I'm sitting here talking to my computer screen here. Like, is anybody watching this? Does anybody care? I am not coming through. Am I not coming? Oh, Lorraine Vegas, yes, you're coming through. I see it. Nydia Ballesteros, I think. But anyways, Nydia. Jun, I would really love to see a groom start to finish. Will you ever do one? I could do a groom start to finish, but it's like 4 hours, you know? It's like 4, sometimes 5 hours of just a lot of just repetitive brushing, you know? So the videos, I just try to highlight, you know, the interesting parts, I guess, because yeah, I'm cutting down like 3-4 hours worth of video down to like 9 minutes. You know, I'm trying to keep it under 10 minutes because I know these long videos, you know. But Nydia, if you ever wanted to, you can come shadow me. Just come out with me, and or you know, I'll groom a dog. I'll groom your dog in front of you or something, you know. But yeah, I have no problem doing a dog start to finish. It's just that I know that it gets really boring. You know, it's just tedious a lot of times. It's just like first 2 hours, 2-3 hours just brushing. Hiram Gonzalez. Thank you, sir. Thank you, Hiram. I love that question. Alan Powell, time lapse. Okay. Maybe these are like questions that came in like hours. No, I was kidding. But Alan, it's good to see you, man. I love you. Nydia, I would watch. Well, that's because you're crazy. No, I was kidding. But yeah, I mean, I guess, like, I don't know. Maybe we could work out like a conference call, like a Google Hangout somehow, and set it up to where I'm grooming a dog start to finish live or something. I don't know, but that would be like 4 hours. Oh shoot. Linda Bosco, I would watch too. Oh my goodness, would you? So you would make two. The two people that would watch like a groom start to finish. And a lot of times I'm just talking some nonsense. I'm just rambling on, talking about life and these, quantum physics theories and all this stuff. And, my wife sometimes is just like, oh my God, it's hard for her to watch. And she's the one behind the camera. Nydia, or come back to Arizona. Then I would chat. Okay. I was even thinking about that. I was thinking maybe I would like to go back to Arizona, especially Pet Club, and just visit some of those locations that I was working at, I don't know. Alan did 2 doodles yesterday. It would have been a 4-hour video. Yeah. Well, Alan, I think that you're actually a lot faster than I am. I mean, one doodle the other week I had a new doodle. First time grooming it, lots of skin issues, lots of dead undercoat, lots of matting. What is it? I think 7 hours. It took me 7 hours. Yeah, but it was worth it. It's investment for me. The way I look at it is that first visit that takes so long, it's an investment, because when I go back in 4 weeks, it's not going to take that long because I put in that work and I cleared out the skin. And so all that stuff that I cleared out of the skin, it's going to take time for it to have, grow back and get to that point again. And in that time, before that happens, I'm going to be back maintaining it. So for me, I feel like the first visit is always going to be probably like a financial negative, it probably wouldn't be worth it financially, but it is an investment. And I think of it like, how much would I spend on advertising? How much would I spend to get that customer? Would I spend $100 on advertising? Maybe would I spend 50, or maybe 10 per, like if you average it out, how many people you actually reach? Am I willing to spend $10 on this advertisement to get to this one person? Or whatever. But I feel like it is a good investment because they see how hard I'm willing to work. They see how much I love what I do, how much I love their dog. They see the quality of the work. And then I come back in 4 weeks and now I'm not spending that time. It's not nearly as hard. The dog already knows and trusts me. And that's when I'm starting to make my money. About the 3rd or 4th visit is usually when I really feel like, wow, I just got paid for that. Like, oh my God, but it's an investment. I understand that the first 2 visits probably won't feel that way. But after the 3rd visit, usually you're just feeling like, oh my goodness, did I just rob that? No. Linda Bosco, I just did my Shih Tzu, and in my opinion, not bad for a dopey cashier. Oh my goodness. She can see now. Linda, good job. It's really, and more than how it looks, it's for the experience. In how you made her feel by doing that for her. That's awesome, because she couldn't see, and then boom, you trimmed, and now she can see, and she's like, my mommy did that for me. And that's why we groom, because we care about our dogs. We want to show them. And make it very clear to them, like, hey, I care about you. You make them feel special, make them feel loved. Not that they don't already, but it's different. When somebody that you care about or love that you love comes and rubs your shoulder when you had a hard day, would you love them any less if they didn't? But still, it is special. Let's see, Nydia. Because of you, goals are to become a master pet stylist. We'll be starting with Pam at IACC. Oh, very nice, Nydia. Alan Powell, I can see clearly now. The rain is gone. Yeah. I would start singing, but I don't want to lose my reputation. I'm just kidding. Okay, so it is 4:15, 4:17. I did start a little late. I apologize about that, guys. Next week, I'm going to try to have my act together. Angela Moore, you can see in their bouncy step that they feel better. Yes, they literally do. They prance and they have this like very like proud bounce to them. You know, I love that. But yeah, it's really cool to see that after you groom a dog. Okay, so thank you guys so much for watching. I'm going to go through my older comments and all the comments and just kind of see um, what kind of question keeps popping up, and then just pick like the one that seems to be like the question that's on everyone's mind about grooming, and I'll start with that next week at 3 o'clock. Nanny Ortiz, oh Nanny, I'm so glad you said hi before I left. Hey girls, how was piano practice? You want to say hi? You want to say bye to everybody?
Okay.
Oh, hold on, let me put. So bye guys. I hope you guys have a great day. My girl's gonna say bye to you.
Bye.
Bye. All right.